Well, hello and welcome to this special bonus episode of The Rest is Entertainment with me, Marina Hyde.
Oh, good. And me, Richard Osman. I almost forgot my name there. I'm so shook.
I'm sorry, I've got to wait till next Wednesday to get to the bottom of that.
I mean, what an inevitable thing to say, but one of the big dogs is gone, and it's the wrong one. Wow, classic traitors.
So much happened in the last 10 minutes that I want to forensically...
We will go back over both of the last two episodes, but goodness me.
Okay. Right.
It is finally danger time. It's actually danger time now.
Oshikoko.
For the faithful. There's only 9 of them left and 3 of them are traitors.
The banishment of someone, I don't think we use titles in banishments, but okay, they did. Sir Stephen Fry. Yes. They didn't say like Mr. Nick Mohammed. You know, we don't use the title, but anyway, we did. And Claudia said, you've lost such a powerful player. Now, I would question that. I would say they lost an influential player, but he failed to use that influence to meaningfully shape the game. If he was waiting to move, and I think that's quite possible because obviously he understands the whole, we don't need to get anyone just yet, stay in the slipstream, etc. If he was waiting to move, he left it too late.
He did. It's tricky again because he is sort of away. You know, when he's horrified that they said, "Oh, you're the leader of the pack," and I get it because you don't want to be seen as that, but he sort of knows deep down that he was, and that's why he'd had to play it
in an earlier episode
when
the big dog theory had been floated for the very first time last week. He did say, well, of course I thought the same thing myself, so I'm not totally convinced that he, you know. Also, can we just, before we get on to anything, can we talk about this position that doesn't exist, which is the lead traitor? It's like, okay, this isn't a thing, guys. I just want you all to know that
I think I've got an idea of like the number 2 and number 3 traitors. That's easier, but I think it's probably more important to get the lead traitor
first.
It's not
Al-Qaeda. It's ridiculous. It's like, or you know, the head vampire, like, you know, Max and the Lost Boys. There isn't a lead traitor.
Like that deck of cards that the CIA had when they were trying to kill all of... I mean, we confidently predicted, we talked last time we were all together, last Thursday, everybody. We could not see a way in which Jonathan survived the next 2 episodes.
He's played a blinder.
And yet, there he is.
And he's played... And he's actually relaxed into it. Yeah. Even more so.
And he's got the most powerful of the faithful, Joe Marler, literally sitting opposite him, staring at him, saying, I know that it is
I'm going to do the whole podcast like this, okay, to you, because I've got for the benefit of the tape, I have my arms folded. Joe Marler is playing this game with the aggro of a civilian, and I am 100% here. He's so angry.
He is. That's why he's just perfect for the show, because he is, you know what, he had no respecter of status inside or outside the house. He just says, I know I've got one job. Like he goes on the rugby pitch, I know I've got one job. We score more points than the other team. That's what we do. He's got one job, to leave faithfuls there instead of traitors. It's the only job there. No ego, no nothing. It's just, let's get it done.
Do I have to bring the harvest in myself? Yes, apparently you do. I mean, he really has absolutely effing had it, hasn't he?
I think
in a great way.
If at any point 2 people as different, yet in some ways similar, as Nick Mohammed and Joe Marler team up and are telling you the same thing, either one of 2 things is happening. Either they are both traitors, or they are both faithfuls and they are right. And that might be the time to go, okay, why don't we just throw everything behind the leader of the faithful? Because if there's a leader of the traitors, there must be a leader of the faithful. And if you'd made it,
not real positions. I just want to restate this.
Not real positions. I am the assistant to the regional manager. That would be if there's 6 of them out of 9.
Okay, but have they missed that moment? Because...
it's still doable, but not really.
Well, not really, because I know we're having to go do lots of things in reverse here, but given who is facing facing a lot of faces in the sentence, facing the face-to-face murder.
Facing the face-to-face.
Kate, Nick and Lucy.
Yeah.
I mean, surely you're going to have to get rid of Nick because he's just too dangerous. Kate... We'll have to come to that in a minute. But
Kate can stay as long as she wants.
Stay as long as you like. Stay as long as you like. Lucy is, without question, was one of the first people in these episodes to start saying, well, excuse me, we need to play the game as she's seen the civilian version of the game being played. We need to actually start getting numbers before we come in here. We need to have theories and we need to back them all the way. She understands that that needs to happen. She's more dangerous.
As you said, she's really come into her own, as she has. She said 2 things in the last episode, both of which I heartily agree with. David is saying, we'll get on to
my
David
goodness,
and
we'll
all
have
of
to get
that.
on
But
to
he's saying,
David.
well, of course, I'm going to be in trouble tomorrow. And Lucy said, oh, we tend to move on, to be honest.
Yes, it was,
She's
which was
absolutely
so
right.
astute, because what she's trying to say is we're playing this game not in the way that I've seen it played by the civilians when they've played it before.
Yeah, we
which is
start
that
anew every day.
If David's in trouble in the normal version of Traitors, they'd be right back there the following day on him, saying, well, now I'm just going to keep doing this until...
And then she said, hold on a minute, what if they're not geniuses?
Yeah.
You know, which is right. And if you ally that with what Stephen said at the end, which is this game is stacked against the faithfuls, that's absolutely right.
Thank you.
They don't need to do a lot.
No.
The Traitors, they don't need to be geniuses. You don't need to beat yourself up. You don't need to get caught up in the maelstrom of he said, she said, all of that stuff. You just have to take a little step back. I think probably in that environment, talking to people who've been in it, and they said the environment is fervid. You're like, you're in it the whole time. You should just sit back. Don't worry too much about the traitors. You know, only one or two people are going to win this whole thing anyway. It's probably not going to be you. There's 19 people, and just play the game.
But is Nick going to survive to be able to... I mean, surely you would have to... He's just too dangerous because he's too... I mean, the thing he did where he strategically said, I'm going to let you win to Joe Marler. And then I wouldn't say this was the biggest mistake made at that round table that we've just seen, but it was the second biggest mistake, I think, probably to say, oh, I did this, by the way, I fixed it. Because for whatever reason, if they have nothing to cling on to, they say, oh, well, that's such a... It's so stupid. It is genuinely the opposite of what a traitor would do, to say, oh, I fixed something. You just wouldn't say.
Well, Kate says this is the only evidence I have of lying. You think what him telling the truth about something you just did is the only evidence you have of lying. And then, you know, at the end, she said, well, of course, there's only one person who's shown they're willing to do the traitor's work and get rid of faithfuls. And he said, he's literally just said to you, in my estimation, there were more faithfuls on the other team, and so I'm trying to save faithfuls as much as I can. And he's trying to explain that, and after she goes, yeah, you're trying to get rid of faithfuls. No, it's
we have
tricky
mentioned before that it's very difficult to be clever in this game.
It is. Do you know what? And I love Nick, as you know, in every way, both on screen and off screen. I think it was a step too far in terms of gameplay, and I think he probably knows that as well. I think the moment he said, no, I did this deliberately, he's thinking, there are board game evenings where this would really work.
Yeah, this would slay.
As a gambit. And people are going, do you know what? He's absolutely right. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Whereas on this, people are going, oh, but what? You mean you lied?
Yeah.
It's like, I think
they're playing one-dimensional chess, and they don't, even that's too much of a stretch.
And honestly, he would win if he played two-dimensional chess, but he's choosing to play four-dimensional.
The biggest mistake, though, Alan Tony Montana Carr saying... But making a real bish and saying, oh, wait, I have got a shield.
Yeah, that's it.
That is ding-dong.
And who spotted it?
Yeah.
Joe Marler.
Yeah.
And even in the round table when they're, you don't have to be like this, you don't have to have this sort of mood. He goes, yeah, but I'm trying to get rid of traitors. And Jonathan goes, we're all trying to get rid of traitors. And he just goes, well, we're not all trying to get rid of traitors, are we? I think amazing.
Well, in a funny way, someone else who's also gone, I mean, who also sort of slightly plays it like a civilian was Mark, who was very emotional. Yeah. And the emotion...
I felt so gutted for him.
So did I.
Yeah, it was like watching a competitive version of the death penalty when you know that both people are innocent.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, this is a lot to go through to get rid of one fairly useful faithful.
Well, David, hello. Welcome to the game, Mr. Olusoga. I mean, I am going to use the titles.
Mr. Olusoga OBE.
Yes.
Yes, as soon he got threatened and suddenly you think, oh, he's turned up.
Yeah,
good.
He has absolutely turned up to the game now. Be careful because you're clever. It is amazing how someone's saying we need to be analytical, because they do need to start. They do actually. We are nearing the point where they're actually
You've got to look at
something.
the numbers now. Yes. Yeah. We always say, and it's absolutely correct, when there are 9 of you left, and 3 of them are traitors, and those 3 could vote as a block from here on in, and all they've got to do is muddy the water one more time and get like a 4th along to go with them very hard to beat that, and then get that person got rid of, and suddenly you are. But if you're Kat, or if you're Alan, or if you're Jonathan, who's a weaker position, you don't want to share all the money. You know, that's the point. The only thing that can kill the traitors now.
All of them going over the £10,000 that they would never do a corporate for. I think I've seen enough of that now.
Yeah. So, I think that if the traitors wanted to just team up and go, the 3 of us will get through to the end of this, which actually would make sense in terms of charity and what have you. I
still think it's hard for him.
Yeah, but there's also the muscle memory of every episode of Traitors you've ever seen that makes you go, oh no, I do sort of want to turn on my fellow traitors. You can see Kat sort of desperate to turn on.
Well, I'm sorry, how
Jonathan.
come that it was not said in the turret, although we haven't seen their second turret, but she mentioned him at the round table and it wasn't discussed.
Yeah.
And now she's done it again, also at the round table. Intriguing.
Yeah, I think Jonathan's quite calm about it, right?
Yeah.
There's no, what I think he understands that the three of them having at least some sort of unity is probably useful. If it's open warfare, he knows he's going to lose. That's the thing. He needs everything to stay under the radar a little bit. He knows that Kat has more power than him. You can see he knows that.
And he knows that you have to be a person who says names that some of the rest of the group say. I mean, that was a large part of the problem with Stephen. He couldn't make a mark. He didn't want to put his pen down and say, well, I think it's... he couldn't say it.
Yeah.
Some people thought there was some kind of clever alliance with Kate Garraway, who also apparently professionally is unable to have an opinion. I think that she said it's because of my job that I can't have opinions. I think you have an opinion by now.
Yeah, I shouldn't be allowed to vote. I cannot vote. I'm so sorry. So you think Nick goes from Kate, Nick and Lucy?
He's obviously too dangerous.
So Nick got rid of Stephen. Nick has built an alliance with Joe, but has also tried to build an alliance with Kat and Jonathan, who he thinks are traitors. And can we take a moment to note that is the way to win this game?
And he's explicitly said what he's doing, which is I'm going to keep them so they think I could never turn on them, and then in the end I'll throw them under the bus. I
will say quickly before I go on, genius though he is, he's also said a lot of other names that aren't real. So he said, look, I believe it to be Kat and Jonathan. The best way to play this game is to keep them around, because I need them to keep me around, and we'll worry about who the traitors are at the very end. And that's the way to play the game, and that's the way he's playing it. They don't know he is doing that. They don't have that information. The information they do have is that he's sort of on side with them. So
they know he's clever, and they know he's done something that's really off the wall in terms of doing something very strategic to sabotage the game.
But he was wrong.
For me, it's too much of a liability. I would get rid.
Do you think?
I love him, but I would get rid.
See, I would worry not more about Lucy.
I know what you mean.
But I see there's an argument for Lucy, because with Nick...
I'd still recruit her. Yeah,
but Nick is so clever. He's like a big judo player, and you can use his weight against him. Whereas Lucy... there's no way, if she gets something between the teeth, she is not going to let it go. Whereas with Nick, you might be able to Jedi mind trick him. Yeah, well, God, I bet I couldn't. But so I think probably not Kate, because where's the benefit in getting rid of Kate? And also there is some heat on her already.
In the parlance of the show. Well, if they were to get Jonathan and they recruited again, then you would have to recruit David or Lucy, surely.
I am not sure they would recruit if they were down to...
Because it's getting so small now.
Yeah.
So there may be none of that.
I think if they got down to... if they get 2 traitors in a row... I think if they got rid of a traitor now, so we're going to be down to 8 after this group, after this thing. So in the next banishment, we'll be down to 7.
But it could happen very quickly with Alan, regrettably now after this Shield incident. It could suddenly, having gone nowhere, and when they have had so little success, it could swing round so quickly on him. It was a big error, that.
Yeah, it was a huge error. But then, Jonathan made a series of errors, and has absolutely, because people are overthinking and are not sticking to their guns. If they get a traitor next, they don't recruit. If they get 2 traitors in a row, I suspect they do recruit.
David or Lucy.
Or Nick if he's in there. Whoever is still in there out of Nick and Lucy.
I can't see Nick going, even though he obviously fully understands the game. It's funny how, unless everyone understands it in the same way.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like if when you're playing chess against someone who doesn't know how to play chess,
then
it
can be really hard.
They can literally just throw the board up in the air.
Right, Celia.
I
mean,
yeah,
epic.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Okay, if Kate Garraway's stock is going slightly down because not showing up enough as an entertainment booking, Celia Imrie is just I'm watching her go up and up every second she's on the screen. Absolutely hilarious. There is a fan... Do you ever heard about this mad fan theory? I'm quite into some of the fan theories. Celia has been named as a sort of detective character, and she's some sort of mole within the game. It's bizarre how much traction this has got. I don't believe that can be the case, because as we said before, joy of this particular game is that the viewer does feel omniscient, and sometimes there are little bits like Diane and Ross, and that's a sort of fun thing.
Fun stuff.
But it's not. it's not a sort of huge, like, I mean, it gets to be the TV moment of the year or whatever, but it's not something like you'd say, oh, well, that's just a complete swizz. Now you've just fooled me and you pulled the wool over. You can't hide things from me.
I would say, having spent some time with Celia over the last year, absolutely every single thing she has done is consistent with her own personality.
Yeah.
The traitors have said who's the weakest, who's the most two-faced, and it's a staple of reality TV and has been forever and ever and ever. Or line yourself in order of attractiveness, all of those things, and it's a brilliant way of getting amongst a group and a brilliant way of exposing who traitors are. So it's a really neat thing. But then they go, okay, so who's the most two-faced? You think, oh, that is textbook. That goes to the heart of everything, because are the traitors going to say one of themselves? And Celia just goes, oh, I think me, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I do. Because I often say I like people, but I don't really.
And even Alan, who obviously understands the format very, very well and understands it as an entertainment format, said, I mean, I thought we were going to have tears, shouting, people storming off. It's just someone saying, no, I really just would have to put myself forward on this one.
And Kate, to her immense benefit as well, when they said who's the weakest player, she goes, I sort of have to put my hand up to that one.
Yeah.
It's so
hey, you put your hand up for something.
It's like, I'm a huge John le Carré fan, but there are le Carré novels where you're in the middle of them, and so many people are playing so many people off against each other, and there are so many different sides, and it's like there's suddenly a dodecahedron of prisms of light going everywhere. That was Nick and Joe Marler choosing between Jonathan and Stephen and having to fix who we go for because of who's in the different groups. I mean, that was... Even le Carré would have had to have a couple of pages where he sort of went back and did a little bit of explanation before I mean, that was so through the looking glass. I mean, I love it. For me, that's I absolutely loved it. But you just think you're not going to be Nick. I know, amazing. And Joe's like,
it was, but rolled with it.
Yeah, but you say but when it happened, you think, absolutely get it. I mean, he's wrong, Nick, unusually. But the one thing you're definitely thinking is that is not going to play at the round table, my friend. No. Nobody is going to go. He goes, no, but think about it. No one's thinking about it.
This is a venue where people think that if you're not sufficiently grateful for having a shield, then you're definitely a traitor, which in this case, if you actually forget you have one, I think that is a bit of a howler. But it is very route one. They hate anything that deviates from their lack of imagination.
It may be a thing, and we haven't really talked about it, that because they are all... they come at it from different spheres. They all sort of know each other, but they all have their own careers that are sort of adjacent to each other, that they have not been able to coalesce in any useful way. They do have an independence that is lacking from the regular version.
Well, as we keep saying, they want it. The life on the outside is very important. That takes primacy. It is for two different audiences that you're doing.
Well, there's one person in there who probably just the one person in there who could be immediately useful to you in the outside world, and that's Jonathan, because he's got his own chat show and he's very well connected, and this, that, or the other, and being in his orbit, it would be a useful thing, and you can see an awful lot of people in there think that, and that's not something that anyone has to think about in the regular version. But that's why it is so great having Joe in there, because I mean, Joe, 100%, that would be writes a book next year, goes on Jonathan Ross, absolutely could see that. He does not give
he's not going to the Halloween party, let me tell you that. He's really not. He's going to get it shut down.
Yeah, even though you can immediately, there's like 50 costumes that would be amazing on him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Jonathan Ross has a famous Halloween party every year. Yeah. Should point that out.
But check the arrivals, because I don't think I'm going to be seeing Joe Marler among them. But maybe I will. Maybe you will. Yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing Joe. I don't think we'll be seeing Claire. I think there's a number of people. We'll be seeing Ruth.
There's a number of people who will not be at that party. But yeah, so Joe seems to be immune to it. Is it a bit like school
where actually it's really uncool to be clever?
Yeah, a little bit.
There's a lot of that, right? So it's just very difficult.
I've only just noticed something, because it was slightly out of character, Olusoga saying the thing about Stephen Fry is he's a genius. And that, of course, is someone who's enormously clever.
He kept saying it as well.
By the way, this way they are murdering this week, which I don't think they've done in the UK version before, where you see the traitors when they murder you, but they have done in the US version, and is incredibly exciting and affecting. I'm very much looking forward
I'm dying for
that. But that's the thing as well. I mean, Kate is going, it's just definitely going to be me. And you go, talk us through that. Talk us through why the traitors would be more likely to get rid of you than get rid of...
Say one interesting thing. Go on. Go in your little diary room and say something.
I have to say, because you need every angle on this, I think she genuinely understands that she is playing it differently to other people.
Well, she did a funny video this week trying to sort of lean into that whole thing that Alan Carr had said about going into the broom cupboard, you know. So she did that. I have to say, Alan and Kat did a TikTok where they like did it to 9 to 5 and they put on, like, were getting ready and getting on their traitors' cloaks. And of course, that spawned millions of fan theories because where's Jonathan? You know, and they were all going down the street. Celebrities are slightly liabilities in that way because I don't think you really should be doing that, probably. I think they'd probably rather you didn't do that.
It is the current eternal conundrum of the publicity officer, which is they want you to do a TikTok, but also they don't want you to do a TikTok.
Yeah.
Or if they do, they say, can you do exactly the TikTok I want you to do? I will do a TikTok for you, but it has to be mine.
So they were sort of skipping down the street and there was no Jonathan. And so then everyone was like, well, they've just done a spoiler that there's no Jonathan, or, you know, why didn't they pass a bus?
But then they
maybe
wouldn't
Jonathan
do
will
it.
be underneath it. Yeah, so they haven't done that.
It is worth noting that across the last 2 episodes, every single vote that came in, not a single vote for Alan, not a single vote for Kat.
Those days are gone.
I don't know, though, because with the Alan thing, will people even remember? I mean, Alan says, you know...
I mean, the trouble is because Joe's got his Jonathan theory and you can only go for one. He might throw some other manure around and say, well, by the way, sorry, can we all at least talk about the fact that Alan did not even remember he had a shield? That is mega suspicious. I still think it's Jonathan, but, you know, he might put that cat amongst the pigeons and should do if no one else does.
Well, if Nick's gone, who has Joe got to help him? So Lucy is smart, but I don't think there's a big connection between her and Joe. Obviously, the 3 traitors are not going to be helpful in any way. David is a bit of a lone wolf. It's quite difficult.
He's got to lead his life according to the Knight Rider creed. One man can make a difference.
Did you see the message we got from one of our listeners after you talked about how great the drivers are? You say these stunt drivers who are...
Well, you and I do not drive and therefore consequently incredibly impressed by driving. And I thought the way that they do, you know, they really coordinate all the Land Rovers and whatever. And actually... it was one of the sort of producers saying...
It was a researcher, I think.
No,
it's just us.
It's just us. We're trying to, like, do all this other stuff at the same time, listen to what they're saying. We did pull up under the porch pretty nicely, didn't we?
Yeah, she did say, I will accept. We absolutely nailed the portico driving.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Well, we're very impressed by any form of driving.
Enormously impressive thing. I won't name that person because, listen, you never know if you're supposed to do that sort of thing or not.
Yeah.
You know, what we're talking about, is it going to be difficult for Alan? When Alan was talking about maybe getting rid of Stephen, and he said, well, the thing about it is it would absolutely blow their minds. And he says, and with this, it always takes them a couple of days to recalibrate.
Yes, which was so astute.
Yeah, and it's exactly right, isn't it? So you can, they tend not to be able to focus on 2 things at once. Like a jackdaw that's just spotted a weasel. It doesn't want to, it can't see a stoat at the same time.
Another thing he said I thought was very telling about like how actually the game, it's so claustrophobic being in there. He said, oh my God, week 1, Alan. And you're thinking, you have actually only really been there about 5 days, but you do feel like you've been there about, a month.
Yeah.
And so that was a sort of telling sense of how time works in the castle, which for us on the outside of the game can often feel like, oh, come on, how can you not? But I do think time works differently when you're sort of removed from absolutely everything.
The other question we've had from lots and lots of our listeners, thanks everybody. And by the way, how much do we enjoy doing these? I'm so happy that people enjoy listening to them because it's just lovely to talk about. Yeah. It's like sport, but for television.
Yes, exactly.
But people keep asking who's the dream cast for the next series.
Well, obviously I want to see Roy Keane. That just goes without saying.
Roy Keane would be amazing. I think Roy Keane and Micah Richards.
Yeah. Well, Shearer. Think about Shearer. Okay, let's do the sports ones first, okay? Andy Murray.
Really?
Come on, if not Judy. Judy would be incredible.
Judy would be very, very good. Judy takes absolutely zero nonsense from anyone.
Yeah. Christian Horner. What?
Christian Horner's...
You didn't want Christian Horner to be in Traitors? Do you know how happy I would be? I think I would have Stendhal syndrome.
What does he bring, though?
What doesn't he bring? He's a full threat. He loves to talk. Think how long his diary room pieces would be. He tries to sort of make the show all about him. It would be a blaze of glory, and
a football
he would
manager
go down in it.
Type would be people who are used to doing post-match analysis. The sporting person, I think, would be amazing in there, just in terms of status, stature, how seriously they'd be taken, how amazing they'd be as a faithful, but also how incredible they'd be as a traitor, is Gareth Southgate. Don't you think, Sir Gareth?
God. Righty would be brilliant.
Oh my God, Righty would be the Joe Marler, that he would be just deeply emotional the whole time and really care.
Mark Bonner fused with Joe Marler.
Wow.
Righty would be amazing. Colleen, If not, Rebecca Vardy will probably do it. I understand she's got a couple of legal bills.
Great idea. Colleen Rooney.
Yeah, well, you know she wants to do different things, or else she wouldn't be doing the things she's done. No politicians at all.
No, I don't think so.
Absolutely no politicians.
I think that's not anyone with any sort of divisiveness in that sort of way. That's the beauty of this format. You don't have to have you don't have to have someone who stirs the pot. Oh no, you know what? It'd be great because they're just they say what they think, and you know what? We all say what we think all the time. I tell you what we don't do is tell you we're saying what we're thinking. We just do it. Yeah. Anyone who ever tells you they're saying what they're thinking, they're on the grift. Well, they've just watched so much reality TV that they feel that they have to constantly, gloss themselves. Yeah. Just say what you think.
Almost any comedian, obviously, I think someone like Lou Sanders would be absolutely great.
Lou would be. She's such a maverick.
It's so funny.
She's. How would she even fit in?
Johnny Vegas, I think, would be very, very good. I'd like to see that.
He would be disruptive. Roisin, I'd like to see in there.
Roisin would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think she'd be terrific. A few left of field people, because we can all listen. We want famous people. Yeah. Jennifer Saunders, by the way, I thought would be.
Oh, she'd be brilliant.
Amazing in there. I'd love her to go in there. A few left of field. Rebecca Lucy Taylor. Self-esteem
she'd
would
be
be amazing because she's funny, she's opinionated.
Brilliant.
She's got the Joe Marler absolute, Sheffield steel going all the way through, or Rotherham steel, I think maybe. Loyal Kana, I always absolutely love on anything he ever does. He's so smart. I think he'd be an amazing person to have in there. And Lisa Tarbuck, I'd love to see in there. Kirsty
Young, because she listens. People who are listening and looking for... Celia has, although she kind of is such a maverick, she goes in different directions, but noticing the absence of things is so significant. Like, she noticed the absence of something in Cat, and that was significant, and she may go back to that. What about Jason Isaacs? He's totally unfiltered. I think he'd be good.
Oh my God. Do you think he'd do it? That would be amazing. He is. He should do absolutely unfiltered.
It'd be brilliant
because he would ask any question at all times of anyone around that table. That'd be incredible. But then people would go, yes, but you're an actor, so of course you're a traitor. But I think it's the person that Claudia tapped on the shoulder of the traitors rather than the people doing it to Rada. I could be wrong. Yeah. I absolutely could be wrong about that. Lorraine Kelly.
I've put her.
Yeah.
Also Carol Kirkwood.
Sorry,
amazing. just from my morning breakfast. Ladies. Yes, please.
Naga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could go. That
would go off.
That would go all the way. She'd play like a civilian.
If
she
Naga
would play like a civilian.
Thought you were a traitor, you would know about it.
Oh yeah, you'd know you'd been served.
Yeah.
Patrick Kielty.
Yeah, Paddy Kielty.
He'd be good.
Yeah, he'd be very good. Marion Keyes.
Oh my God, she'd be epic.
Again, people who maybe the public know less, but Marion, anytime you see her or anything or hear her or anything, she's so brilliant and perspicacious and really understands human nature. And those are the people. So you've got to have those big names, but you've got to have the Joe Marler type people. You've got to have people there who, if you've come across them in your life, you just think, oh man, if the public saw more of you, they would absolutely love you. And people who would not be daunted by the game, and people who would not be daunted by the other personalities around, in the same way. So Joe Marler is not daunted by Stephen Fry and Claire Balding and Jonathan Ross. No. Self-esteem would not be daunted by any of those people. It's she wouldn't be daunted. She might be daunted by Sir Gareth Southgate.
You have to have a YouTuber, and on that, I think they should have Amelia de Bolderberg if they can get her. She'd be so brilliant.
That's a great idea.
Because she would not be daunted, as we can see from every Chicken Shop update.
That's a great idea.
She would be very, very good. 3 weeks ago, I'd have said Sarah Ferguson, but a red line's gone through that potential booking.
I think maybe it has, because I was thinking Prince Harry, because what a way to rehabilitate yourself with the pub. That's because he's on that 50-50 knife.
It's a plot for a brilliant comedy drama.
Yeah.
That in order to win back the nation, he enters a reality TV format
called The Traitors. And you're like, but your family's got a history with actual traitors.
Yeah.
This is,
Would Zander do it?
He would genuinely be great, because he would take it very, very seriously. Someone I saw the other day and I thought, oh my God, you'd be amazing on Celebrity Traitors, is Miles Jupp.
Oh yeah, he would be brilliant.
Because I love Miles. Yeah. He makes every room more fun.
Yes.
He makes every group a more fun group. But, stick a bit of pressure on him, he knows what happens. He laughs everything in, which is amazing. I'd love him. I'd love Rob Brydon. I think would
Rob
be great.
Brydon. I mean, I just want Rob Brydon on all the television shows.
Joanne
I want
McNally.
agents of chaos like Jerry Halliwell or Joss Stone. Maybe even Nadine from Girls Aloud. It could go off.
Yeah. That's
because
great.
you want that.
Yeah.
And it might not. They might just play an incredibly safe.
In fact, in terms of who they are going to book, you need 4 or 5 absolute blue chips. You just absolutely do. You need your Lorraine Kellys and your Sir Gareth Southgates and people like that. Your Jennifer Saunders. You need those people where people just go, oh wow, that's amazing booking. You need 3 or 4 people who people don't know. Like we had Ruth and Nico, and unfortunately a lot of them voted out this one. But Kat is a perfect example. Someone who we didn't know before, but you're like, oh, okay.
Because normally I do think they reflect the countries. That's something else I was thinking about. They do reflect the country slightly. And the American one is so, Machiavellian and survival of the fittest. Whereas ours, I think there is so much deference to perceived class or intellectual.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
It's so like us, and also the old really stab the young.
Yes.
Sorry. I mean, sorry, boomers, and even lower than boomers. Yeah. They really got rid of the young ones.
Well, that's because what I worked out with the books a long time ago is all old people are just young people who are older. But you know what, it's just...
I know this isn't the message of the Thursday Murder Club.
Well, it sort of is. Young people have never been old. No. All old people have been young. So they have a slight advantage over you.
You've got to have the people who the people don't particularly know, but are sort of slightly wild cards for that very reason.
Yeah, exactly that. And then you need your sort of nationally treasury type people, Mars Jupp, Gabby Logan. The person I would love only because I think the documentary is fascinating is Eddie Hearn.
Oh, yes. Either they watch it, in which case they want to be on
amazing,
it, or else you can't imagine yourself saying to e.g. Alistair Campbell, well, the format of the show is, Alistair, that this is how it happens. It's like, I know, I've never seen it, but I'm sure it'll be fine. In a way, that's why they're scared of Jonathan, is because, as you say, he's very influential on the outside, whatever, but actually... because they believe that he is the absolute completest and understands the game better than anyone else. And they keep saying now, oh, no one's sort of more versed in Traitors' lore than, or they don't put it that way, but you know what I mean?
Mohammed.
Yes, I agree. But they think it's Jonathan. They think he is the super fan who knows all the answers.
I think it's almost impossible to play the game better than Jonathan has played it.
I agree. I was disparaging about aspects of it, but the fact that he's still here is a testament to how well he turned it round.
Yeah. We're probably going to have to... We could literally talk for like 4 hours, right?
I know. I'm very sorry that we have to start. I'm very sorry we have to wait till next Wednesday to find out.
It's infuriating we have to wait. But, it's like the old days of telly.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Oh, Giles Brandreth.
Oh, yes. Okay, fair enough.
Giles would be a lot of fun.
You've got to get him
in there. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't always interrupt my my outros with the name Giles Brandreth, but I have today. Thank you so much for listening, everybody, whether you're listening straight afterwards, in which case we're still reeling, or whether you're listening tomorrow morning. We'll do it all again next week, shall we?
We will do.
And also, if you want to listen to our regular episodes, there'll be one on Tuesday.
There will be one on Tuesday. See you next Tuesday, everybody.
See you next Tuesday, everyone.